It's okay to say, I really like and preserve my sleep, that you're not an old lady or an old man if you go to bed early. Do you ever have those dreams where you're late to an activity or you completely miss something? I dream repeatedly that I walk into a classroom and I've missed an exam that I've studied so hard for, and last night I had a dream that I missed my graduate school graduation. I believe that dreams are really telling because they show you something that your mind is really focused on or anxious about. Being in the last couple months of my MBA, I am focused on finishing up this program and doing it well. But I believe that that dream was kind of a sign that maybe my priorities need to be reevaluated a little bit, or that I just need to slow down. Maybe you're feeling the same way, that you're feeling a little bit run down. You're coming into the spring, which should feel like a new beginning, but you're still hustling off of too many things in the winter. Or maybe you're finally able to do some of the things that you've been wanting to do since the lockdown. You're feeling more comfortable going out. I think that we could all use maybe a little bit of a spring cleaning of our activities or a spring cleaning of our mind. And I've been thinking particularly on this verse from Isaiah 26:3, that you will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. And I could use a little bit of that peace this spring. As myself, I'm feeling a little bit maybe in a rut. I want to share with you a few things that help me when I'm feeling run down. The first thing that helps me when I'm feeling a little bit run down is to do something physical. Normally when you're stuck in your head, you can't focus on anything else. And when you're sitting at your computer and you're staring at it, or wanting to send a message back to somebody, and you just cannot even think about what to do or how to resolve a situation. So the first thing that helps me is to do something physical and to get that good adrenaline and endorphins going. And lately for me, that's been going on a lot of walks whenever it's beautiful outside, and just being able to take in nature and see real things that aren't on a screen. Something that's been helping me to reset lately is taking ice skating lessons. And there's something just so primal about trying to survive on the ice, that you're I am avoiding pain, I will not fall, that I cannot think about anything else when I'm skating, because I'm just thinking, don't bust my knees, don't bust my knees. So maybe think about something that you can do that's physical, that is enjoyable, but also that just takes your complete focus for that amount of time. Second tip when you're feeling run down is just to talk it out with someone. I think that there's a difference between venting, which can be really unhealthy and toxic, and just getting good counsel from somebody who is outside of the situation. I like to either call my mom or call a girlfriend who is just in a different situation than me and say, these are all the things that I have going on. And sometimes whenever I say all the things, then I realize things that can be cut out, or that I really just don't have as much going on as I think. I just needed to process it with someone. Processing the situation with a person I know is a very extroverted thing. And if you're more introverted, maybe it's just talking it out with one person. For me, I might want to talk it out with multiple people and get multiple people's opinion. I remember feeling really run down in college because I was volunteering with a few organizations. I was really focused on my grades, probably a little bit too focused in school, and had a relationship. And I remember talking about it with my mom, and she said, you need to say no to a few more things, because anytime a babysitting opportunity came up, I said yes. Anytime a friend wanted to do something, I said yes. And especially as somebody who likes to be involved in her community, sometimes it can be hard to say no when you see real needs, or when your friends are struggling. You want to be there for them. But it's important though to reevaluate how effective can I actually be when I'm saying yes to all of those things. And learning when to say healthy no's, or say, I would love to, but I don't have the capacity to do this right now, is a very honest thing to say, because whenever you're giving a minimum output to a lot of things, it's not very efficient, and you would be much more effective if you were saying yes to only a couple of things and getting those things done really well. I think that we glamorize being busy so much that we don't realize that taking things slow can actually be a much more loving and effective way to live. My fourth tip for what to do when you feel run down is to write out all the things that you're doing and the result of what those things will be in a couple of months. Because sometimes you just can't eliminate anything from your life. You've said your yes, you've been committed, and you don't want to back out. And what you have to do is to finish out that commitment. What I like to do is write down, here are all the things that I'm going to do this spring. Yeah, there are a lot, but here's the result of each activity. So For school, I say I've got 2 months left. The result of that is that I'll have graduated, that I'll have learned some new skills, and that I'll be ready to go out into the workforce, and that I'll have all these relationships from my program to carry out. Being able to see the end vision of those activities helps you to get the extra gusto to move forward into them. And then maybe you say, the end vision of that actually isn't so awesome, and in the future you can cut it out from your activities and from your life. This is where I think that getting good counsel really helps too, because sometimes other people can see the vision of an activity that you can't see. I've had to look at the end vision of my involvement with Miss Arkansas, because pageantry is a very subjective activity. This year at Miss Arkansas, 52 girls will compete for the same title, and you have to look beyond the activity of just winning and think, what am I getting from this activity and what am I giving? So I know that I'm giving a lot through service, but I'm also growing a lot in ways that I wouldn't have otherwise. So you have to look at the cost-benefit analysis, or opportunity cost, as we would say in business. To give up this much of my time, I'm getting this much reward that I wouldn't have had otherwise. The fifth tip for what to do when you're feeling run down, which is I think one of the most important ones, is to sleep more. I know there's a direct correlation with how irritable I feel and how much sleep I've been getting. Your body can only handle so much of the go, 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 even when you're young and in your 20s. But I was super impressed coming into my graduate school program and people saying, yeah, I turn off my phone, I turn off my computer at 9 o'clock, and that's when I chill out and I go to bed early and I get my full 8 hours of sleep. And that was so refreshing to hear, that you don't have to grind all the time. You don't have to be studying until midnight every night and burning those early daylight hours. It's actually healthier to be efficient in your studying time. And I've been feeling so much better when I prioritize my sleep and when I go to bed early than I would have when I was earlier in my college career and I would stay out super late. Your mind hits capacity. It's good to prioritize, a couple nights I might be staying out later, or sometimes I just have a midterm that there's no other way around it, that I'll have to study late. But the majority of the time, I think it's okay to say, I really like and preserve my sleep, that you're not an old lady or an old man if you go to bed early. It shows that you know what you can handle and that you are presenting the best version of yourself every day because you've taken care of your body properly. Those are my 5 tips for how to handle life whenever you're run down. You might think that, these are a lot more things to add to my list and do, but I think they're really effective in every time that I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed, to reevaluate my activities and to hash them out with someone who's really helpful, to do something physical, and to sleep more so my body is regenerated. That I think these things will really help you going into the spring, to do a spring cleaning of your activities and of your mind, and to be ready to just have a really effective, fun spring and summer, and to just really kill it out there. So I hope these tips were helpful for you, and I hope you have a great and wonderful week.